Hi everyone, it's Lynn Dion here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I thought we'd make this fun happy birthday shaker card. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you another version of this for a 60th birthday party. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off by using some Elizabeth Craft soft finish cardstock in the 100-pound weight. And we're going to be making an A6 size card. So we want to cut our paper at 9 by 6 1/4, and we're going to score it at 4 1/2. So I'm going to cut this at 6 1/4 by 9. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip that little tab over, and I'm going to use the scoring board now. And I want that little raised edge to be up against the paper. So I'm going to line my paper up along the top and the right edge. Then I'm going to grab the bone folder, which is stored down below on this We Are Memory Keepers score and trim board. And I'm going to score that at 4 1/2. I'm just going to use the bone folder here to press out the creases. Just get a nice crease on that. And again, we'll have an A6 size card. So it's 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. So now I'm going to grab the Holtz Idea-ology Kraft-stock, and this is the metallic Confections, and we're going to be using that beautiful purple color. The colors in this collection are just absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to take and cut this 6 by 4 1/4. Now that's going to sit on my A6 size card with about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So now I'm going to take from Sizzix the Impresslits by Courtney, Chilson, and you get an embossing folder and some dies, and this is the Happy Birthday set. And you can see here that they give you some different examples of the different ways you can die cut this. So we're going to take the embossing folder, which is going to cut out the Happy Birthday, and we're going to want to cut that inside circle. So, and you also get this additional one that does Happy Birthday to You, and you get some balloons and some streamers as well. So what we're going to do is take that smaller circle, and we're going to put a little bit of tape. This is the glue tape from Tombow. And we're going to just place a little bit on the back side of this die, just to temporarily hold it in place while we do our embossing and die cutting. So I'm going to pop this right in the center. I want to make sure it's lined up exactly. And we're going to go ahead and put our metallic cardstock in here. We're going to center it exactly on that panel and push it all the way up towards the top of the fold. And then we're going to close the folder, and you will see that it hangs over a little bit because we are doing a little bit larger card. So using my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine, I'm going to put the base plate down and then my embossing plate. You would need to use the sandwich that corresponds to your die cutting machine. So now you'll see that it die cut the Happy Birthday section, and it did leave a little mark there at the bottom of the embossing folder, but don't worry about that because we're going to fix that in a minute. So I punched out all those little pieces, and now we want to die cut a second piece. This time I want that larger circle because we're going to cut out the whole thing, this circle and the Happy Birthday and the inside circle as well. So you'll see what I mean in a second here. Now I'm using that Elizabeth Craft cardstock, and I'm placing it face down in the embossing folder. And I'm using my embossing plate again, same as we did before, and I'm going to run that through. Now here we're not concerned about the embossed portion, we just want this Happy Birthday circle. You can see that it cut out the inside circle as well. Now if we didn't put that smaller circle in the embossing folder when we die cut, that would have stayed intact. But we want to make a shaker card, so we're going to have the whole thing open here. So I'm using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I'm going to place some glue all the way around this circle and on the letters as well, just to make sure that everything sticks down really well. Then I'm going to line it up exactly over that happy birthday that we have underneath. And you can see this is going to make a beautiful opening for our shaker card. So now I'm just placing an acrylic block on there and letting it dry. Now I want to deal with that little line that it made. So I'm going to go back and flip that tab over so we can do some embossing. And I'm just going to line up that line with any line on this scoreboard. It doesn't really matter. You just want to pick one that lines up with that. And I'm going to emboss that. And then I'm going to do one more and another one. So I'm going to have 3 embossed lines, each 1/8 inch apart. And that's going to camouflage that little line that we had there. And it also looks really pretty. So now that we have that, I'm going to grab my Cricut Cuttlebug Embossables. These are the acetate sheets. And I'm going to cut this sheet to 3.5 by 3.5. And that's going to sit exactly behind that panel there. So I'm going to take some score tape. This is the 1/4 inch score tape. And I'm going to place that tape just around the opening here. It doesn't have to be perfectly precise. I just want to get this embossing acetate behind that opening. So now I'm just going to stick that in place. And now we're ready to make the shaker portion here. So that will sit on that panel again. That's our card, and we'll have about a 1/4 inch border all the way around. So I'm going to grab my Scotch foam mounting tape, and this is the 1 inch tape. And I like to use this when I'm doing a shaker card because I can get all the pieces I need out of one strip here. So I'm folding it over on itself to get a double layer. And I'm using my Tim Holtz 9.5 inch shears here. And now you can see that I can cut this into 4 strips. And I cut a strip, the whole length of this section was about 9.25 inches, I believe. And that's going to go all the way around this circle. So you can see that I'm removing the backing from both sides. And that's going to make it pliable enough to go around this opening here. So I'm just going to continue going around that opening. And I want to make sure that it lines up exactly when it meets the other end so that none of our little confetti sneaks out of that opening. So I want to make sure it's a snug fit right there at the end. So now that I have that in place, I'm going to cut this into 3 more strips, and I'm just going to position those on the back of this panel. Now you'll see here that I think I got a little carried away with the tape, but I've got enough on there. Now I'm going to grab the purple organza butterflies from Nuvo, and this is from the Peacock Feathers collection, and you get stars, hexagons, and some little flakes, and kind of like greens and greenish blues and light blue. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing from my tape here. And now I want to take those little butterflies and I'm going to put those right in the center here. Just want to make sure they don't jump out and land on the tape or anything, because you want a nice snug fit when you put your paper in here. And then I'm taking my EK Success anti-static tool and I'm just going around that inside edge of that tape, not on the top of the tape, just the inside edge, just so those butterflies don't end up sticking to the edge. So now I'm grabbing a panel 4 by 5 3/4. This is again the Elizabeth Craft soft finish cardstock, and I really want to press that down, especially around that circle. So make sure you really press it down so those little butterflies don't sneak out. So now you can see how cute that's going to be. So now I want to go ahead and place some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive along the back of this entire panel. And again, I'm using some glue here just so that I have a little time to move it around and make sure that I have it positioned in place with that border around the edges. And then I'm just going to press that down. Now I'm going to just grab an acrylic block here and place it on that while it dries. So now I want to go back to that little circle there, that die, and I'm using that circle that we cut out before from the purple paper, and I'm going to die cut this because I want to get the happy birthday, the to you part. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Sizzix Sidekick machine, and I'm going to run that through. And you can see you get the little balloons, some confetti, but we're just going to grab the words there. And I'm just going to position those right in the center of that circle. And again, going back to the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, I'm going to go ahead and glue those in place. And you do want to just use little tiny dots of glue here, just so it won't kind of seep out the edges. Because it is hard to remove from the acetate if you do get it on there. So just be really careful here applying your glue. So I went ahead and put glue on that one as well, and now we have happy birthday to you. So I'm just going to place an acrylic block on that and let that dry. So now we're going to take the Distress Mixed Media Heavy Cardstock from Tim Holtz, and these are already cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to use the Peacock feathers. And we're just placing this, just pressing some ink down onto my mixed media mat. And then the picked raspberry, which is one of my favorite colors. And then we're going to use the Wilted Violet. And the last one here, which I didn't show you the name, is going to be the Shaded Lilac. And now I'm going to grab my Distress sprayer, and I'm just going to spritz that with a little bit of water. Just kind of get those colors moving a little bit. And then I'm going to take this cardstock and press it right down into those colors. Now we're using the Distress Oxide inks. These are from Tim Holtz. And if you heat set in between layers, the colors will just layer one upon another. It doesn't mix together really. You just heat set it and then add another layer of color and heat set it and add another layer and so on. And that's what I love about these. So you'll see here I'm just pressing that back down into the ink. That's just the leftover ink that was there from before. And you see I'm getting some like veins. I want those and like that, but if you don't like that, just add more water and you can kind of eliminate that. So I'm just going to continue to press my cardstock down into that wet ink there and heat set in between. And add a little more water when you feel you need to. And then I'm going to heat set this again. Now I did clean off my mixed media mat and I'm just heat setting that for the last time here. Now I'm grabbing these butterflies, and these are from the Sizzix Thinlits Tim Holtz set, and it cuts the under portion and the overlay portion of the butterfly. And this is the Detailed Butterflies mini set. And we're going to use this butterfly here, and that one cuts the solid piece and that one cuts the detailed piece. So I'm just going to position these on this cardstock that we created here with our inks. And I'm going to run those through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. This is going to give us a beautiful variegated butterfly here. And I just love these colors together. So that's going to layer one on top of the other. Now what I decided to do here was to take my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, and this is the crystal clear, and I'm just going to add some sparkle to the top of this butterfly here. You can see how pretty that looks. So now I want to layer those two together. So I'm going back to my adhesive, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right down the center there and attach these two pieces together. Now, by just putting glue down the center, I'm going to be able to just kind of bend those wings up a little bit. So while it's still a little bit damp from that Spectrum Noir pen that I used, I'm just going to press those wings up a little bit, just using my finger and just kind of pressing them up. And that's going to give us a lot of dimension on this butterfly. So now what I want to do is attach the butterfly to my card. And I'm going to go ahead and again just put glue on the center and maybe a little bit on the left and right of the wings there. And then I'm just going to press that into place. Now off camera, I took some Nuvo crystal drops in the crushed grape and put a little drop in the center of that butterfly. And you can see how pretty this shaker card is. We've got those beautiful butterfly elements inside the shaker and this beautiful purple metallic. Now this is the other card I told you about. This is a 60th birthday card for a friend of mine, and I thought it would be cute just to put the 60 right in the center there. So what I used here was the Tim Holtz numbers. This came with my Sidekick machine. You get this little embossing folder, some stamps to coordinate with it, and all the numbers. So those worked out perfectly, but you could certainly use your Cricut or any other number dies that you have. So that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.